So say you're at the tail end of your journey with your employer, and your employer wakes up one day and says, I do not want to see this person in my office. How should they let you go? How does that work? That is going to be the topic of our conversation. My name is Stella Mugoiri. I am the managing partner at MMW Advocates LLP, and this is a Kenyan lawyer's perspective. Now, to start with, how you let go of an employee is meant to be dignified. And because the law realized that there is a gap, if you leave it up to employers, there would be no dignity in the process. There would be great uncertainty in the process. So what does the law provide under the Employment Act? And I will not bother you with whichever sections they are. But what the law provides is that there are various types of termination. I'll deal with the first one. Now, when terminating an employee, first, you must look at the contractual terms. Does it say, as an employer, I should give you 1 month notice? If it provides for that, then you are expected to be given that notice period. But assuming now this is a situation where I did something extremely off, like stole some money from the company, assuming that is the situation, does it mean that the employer can wake up one day and just say, you stole, you should leave? No. Unfortunately not. As a matter of fact, let me make it sound so serious. If I burnt my company down, would they let me go immediately, or is there a process? Unfortunately, even as extreme as that sounds, there is a process in law. So the first thing is that your employer must give you a document known as a notice to show cause. A notice to show cause is basically telling you, show cause as to why we should not fire you, just like the word states. And in that document, it will state, we think you did this, or we are offended by the fact that you did particular things. And it lists them, that you stole from the office company, you did 1, 2, 3, whether it's sexual harassment, verbal harassment, whatever the case may be. And then it tells you, you're expected to answer to this notice to show cause within 7 days. So that then is your opportunity to redeem yourself and say, no. That was a rumor. I did not steal it. I'm not even in charge of funds, whatever the case is. So within those 7 days, you give a written response. Based on the document that you give, where you're defending yourself, the HR or your boss will look at it and say, you know what, maybe this person gives a good point. We do not need to have them go through a disciplinary process. Or they can say, not entirely convinced. This person needs to go through a disciplinary process. So now they invite you, your employer will invite you through a disciplinary process, again through a letter saying, we're inviting you for a disciplinary hearing on this particular date. And again, this is all laid out in the law. We're inviting you for a disciplinary hearing on this particular date. And the law requires that you're expected to go with a representative. The law says floor representative, shop representative, but you can go with your colleague to this particular meeting. That's your right. Right after at that particular session where you've been invited, it's very important to ensure that minutes are taken so that your version of this event and the employer's version of this event are not contradicting. Now, at this point, there'll be a panel, or maybe 2, or perhaps just your boss, because it could be just an employer who is a solopreneur, for instance. And they'll ask you, this is what I think you did. Did you do it? Give me a narration of what happened. And at that point, then, that is a disciplinary hearing. They get to question you and cross-examine you. I dare say, interrogate you through this particular event. And then at the end of that, you will sign the minutes, because you want to make sure that you are all aligned. Once that is done, that particular disciplinary committee or panel or your boss is expected to then give you feedback. Are we going to retain you? Is it going to be a verbal warning? Or do we let you go? Do we let you go summarily? That is to say, this is so gross, we don't even want you to serve 1 month notice. We want you to leave today. That's the one that is commonly used as effective immediately. We want you to leave effective immediately. Or you can serve within the company for that 1 month, do your handover, and then we let you go. But that entire process is necessary. To sum it up, if you go to court because this process was not followed, the only two things that the court looks at is, was there a valid reason to let this person go? Like we said, you stole company funds, you burnt the company down, that is a valid reason. Number two, was due process followed? Was this person given a chance to be heard and defend themselves? And are they aware this is why they were let go? Was there a process in the termination of this person that aligns with the law? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please engage with us if you have any questions as regards termination, how to terminate, if you are terminated unlawfully or unfairly. My name is Stella Wangoi Mugoiri, Managing Partner at MMW Advocates LLP, and this is a Kenyan Lawyer's Perspective.